Radio. It's time for Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news at the top and bottom of each hour. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
All right, hour number 2, and it's the time of the month. And Charlie, I didn't put in your open. I didn't get around to it, so I didn't pull that mic down towards you.
Okay.
People can't hear you.
You hear me now?
No, we can hear you.
You hear me
All
now?
right, so we're gonna have some fun this month on Garden Jargon. We're talking bees. Bees. All right, bees, and I'm seeing photos of deer too. So.
Well, it's Randy's pictures.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a real brief introduction about how I got to know this debonair gentleman to my left here. We had a mutual friend, Lenya Contis, and we had her on because she makes her own maple syrup.
Okay.
I've known Lenya for 20, 25 years. We got talking about bees, and she said, I know a guy that's a beekeeper, and I got a hold of Randy, texted him or whatever, and asked him, this is a year and a half or so ago, be interested in coming on the show. He agreed. He came on. We had a really good show. Well, before I did the first show with him, he invited me out to his place where he has his bees at his house, and I thought I was going to be there for like 45 minutes or an hour. I get out there in the afternoon. I was out there almost till dark. It was fascinating to me. And Frank, I'm going to ask you a question. Well, rhetorical question.
Okay.
How many things in your life have changed in the last 5 years dramatically, and how much of them changed? Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot. A lot.
So you can answer that for me, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. Okay, but more things changed than I wanted to change sometimes. But I'm standing in Randy's yard, and I'm looking at the bees, and I'm thinking, he is doing this the same way the pharaohs did it 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
It's the same science. It's the same technology. He's very knowledgeable about it. I'm sure he knows more about the science of the bees than the pharaohs understood, okay? Mm-hmm. But I was there. I was fascinated. And Randy is going to tell us, I'm sure, what to do when you see bees, when they're swarming, what they don't do, and how the bees work, okay? So, Randy, tell us how the bees work.
Well, let's first off tell everybody about who you are, Randy, and what you do.
My name's Randy McCracken.
Okay.
I run Red Diamond Honeybees.
All right.
Located in Chippewa. I have bees scattered around a lot of Beaver County at different farms. I produce honey, beeswax, and pollen. It's more of a labor of love. I really like working with bees. I have quite a few colonies. I run about 150 right now. Probably got about 60, 70 colonies in my backyard. And they don't bother anybody. People panic when they hear bees. Oh, I'm allergic, this and that. But honeybees are, for the most part, very docile.
Okay.
You can get some defensive bees for various reasons. Rainy, wet days, they're not happy. Skunks bother hives at night. They get a little defensive. Summer dearth, if it's been really dry, they get a little defensive. You just stay away from them.
Okay, I gotcha.
All in all, honeybees are not like a wasp. Wasps, they're not very nice.
So how do you tell the difference between a honeybee, to know it's a honeybee, between all the different bee types there are?
Well, the two that really get mixed up a lot is yellow jackets and honeybees. They're very similar in appearance, except the yellow jacket is a long, slender bee.
Okay.
And longer wings.
Right.
And they just want to sting you. They're ground bees. That's the ones where you run them over with a lawnmower, and on the trip back they get you. Honeybees, for the most part, are in cavities, dry cavities, like a siding of a house or a tree, or in hives like I have.
Okay.
They're a shorter, hairy bee. They have hair all over them. There's confusion. This time of the year, I'll be getting phone calls a lot. I have honeybees in my wall or honeybees in the ground. Can you come and get them? They're almost always yellow jackets. Honeybees are not in the ground. They're not in stone walls.
Okay.
There's a big confusion there.
So they usually like trees?
Hollows of trees,
okay.
Sheds where there's a hole. They like dry cavities.
Okay. So what led you into a love for bees and beekeeping?
Honey.
Honey. Well, and thanks for the honey. I'm looking forward to it.
They're just fascinating.
All right.
I mean, they're just absolutely fascinating creatures. I mentor a lot of people and start people out with bees, and I find that they love to sit near the hive and just watch them come and go. So it goes to show you that they're not, unless you're disturbing them, they pretty much leave you alone.
Oh, gotcha. All right. How many colonies do you have?
Around 150, I think.
Wow.
I'm not real sure.
And how much does that produce? A lot of honey every year, or?
It does, and it varies from year to year. It depends on the weather. This year has been really wet, which is, I'm hoping it sets up for a nice fall flow. In the last number of years, it's been so dry that there wasn't a great production of fall honey. This spring, it was wet in May, so that sort of hurt the honey production, wet and cold.
Okay.
But yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's where numbers matter. The more hives you have, the more you are able to get honey. If you only have one or two and it's a bad year, you're either not going to get any or very little honey.
Now, do honeybees produce all year long, or is that just a seasonal thing?
There's an ebb and flow of it through the summer.
Okay.
Summer, July and August, it's pretty much flat. Then it picks up again in late August into about the 1st of October, and then it starts to get cold.
Right.
And bees are a group of insects that produce heat so they can live all winter. And honey is their survival food.
Okay, I gotcha.
That's their energy for the winter.
So what typically is like a take me through the lifespan of a honeybee?
A queen bee can live for years. From an egg till when she emerges is 16 days. She hardens off and gets ready to mate. About 10 days, she goes out and mates, comes back to the hive. Pretty much never leaves the hive again unless it swarms, but she can live for years.
Oh, wow.
A worker bee, on the other hand, average life is about 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
They fly themselves to death in the summer. Now, there's going to be a group of bees, worker bees, that emerge out late fall. They live a long time, all winter long in the hive. Bees can live a long time in a hive. They're not flying. They're not wearing their wings out. But come springtime, they die of attrition. They're flying for nectar, pollen, keeping the brood warm, supplying food. They wear themselves out. So there's a spring turnover where you get the new batch coming, and it's still the same old queen.
Now, is the queen the one that still produces the new batch, and it just like continually?
She's the only one in the hive.
Okay.
She can lay 1,500 to 2,000 eggs a day, and that also is an ebb and flow. It ramps up in the spring and then slows down in the summer, and ramps up again in the fall, and then in the winter she'll shut down. We're fortunate up here; it gives her a break, so she lasts longer. If you're in the south, they never quit laying, so it kind of wears her out a little faster.
Now, a queen bee, do the eggs have to be fertilized by like a male, or?
She goes out and mates.
Okay.
And it's called polandry, you hope for. She goes out and mates with many males.
Okay. Like, are they
10, 15, 20, 25
worker
males.
bees, or are they?
It's a drone.
Okay, gotcha.
There's 3 castes of bees in a hive. There's the worker, the queen, and the drone.
Okay.
The drone cannot sting you. His only purpose in life is to go out and mate with a virgin queen.
Sounds like what I'd like to be, Charlie.
I was waiting for some smart aleck remark over there. I couldn't believe it took you this long.
As soon as he mates, he dies. So that's the downside of
Do
that.
you still want to do it, Frank?
Is there any better way to go? I mean, let's be real here.
And in the fall, the worker bees actually quit. The drones are worthless in the hive. They don't supply any food. They don't do anything in the hive other than wanting to go mate, and they beg food off the worker bees. So come this time of the year, later in the fall, they actually quit feeding the drones because they're useless to the hive, and they pretty much kick them out. And
almost sounds like a teenage boy, don't it, Charlie?
Yeah, well,
you're done. We'll see you later. You know.
Hit the bricks.
Well, you know, it was funny. When I was out there was so many things fascinating me, and I want Randy. I want you to explain how they find the pollen, the bee that goes out in the morning looking for and then comes back.
Well, as a worker bee ages, there's different duties. The first 3 weeks, roughly 3 weeks of its life, it's spent in the hive. The first thing it does when it emerges out of its cell is clean the cell, and then they clean the cells. They make food for the brood. There's the entourage around the queen that helps feed the queen, clean the queen, take care of her. There's undertaker bees that if something dies in the hive, they pull it out. There's guard bees. And then they eventually, after about 3 weeks, they graduate to foragers. But they have a select group of foragers that go out and scout the area for the mother load of food.
Okay.
And they come back and they'll do what everybody's heard of it, the waggle dance. And it gives directions, where it's at, how far to fly, and the other bees will go out and they actually pass off that food to the other bees so they know what they're going after. And those bees go out after it, and they pretty much get tunnel vision. Once they're on that specific flower in that area, they forage until the source is gone. That's like I have so many hives in the backyard, and I watch them fly out. They don't all forage in the same place. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing how they the duties that they're assigned. And then the older bees, as they start to age out, become water bees. Honey bees use a lot of water. That's how they cool their hive in the summer when it's too hot. They actually go out, get water, come back, and they put it on the comb, and they fan it, cool it down. They're masters of air conditioning. They keep their hive at around 93 to 95 degrees. I don't care how hot it is out.
So how do you go about basically not pissing them off and taking honey from them? Well, because really you're taking part of their home.
You're stealing it. You rip the roof off their house, and but you learn how to work them. You learn what days are a good day to do it and which ones aren't. Smoke is my best friend. If I open the hive up, I give smoke. I don't blast it into the hive per se. I put it in the air. It confuses them. They can't communicate anymore because all their communications is by vibration and pheromone.
Okay.
If they can't smell that alarm pheromone, they're confused. So you just learn to move slowly, for one, gently. If you get a bee, well, I have a veil on. I wear protection. But if you were out there and didn't have a veil on and you were walking around and a bee comes, don't start swatting at it. That's the worst thing you could do. It sends the alarm pheromone off. All her sisters are going to come and see what's wrong, and now it's game on.
Well, and Randy was saying about how they're not hostile and mean by nature. When I was out at his house that day, I'm standing in front of one of the beehives, and there was bees bouncing off of my forehead. And Randy said, "You got to move. They're trying to get back in. They always come back to the same box." I was standing in front of the entrance. Okay, they didn't sting me. They just kind of. And when he told me to get out of the way, and they went in. So they had every opportunity to sting me on my face and my forehead. They just kind of bounced off and then went into the hive.
I call it a warning shot. They give you a warning shot, and they don't want to sting you. They die.
Right.
So it's if they thump off you, you just move and get out of their way, and it's usually fine. It's when you pinch a bee by accident, if I'm picking something up, or you get one caught under your arm and just But they're, for the most part, they're very docile.
How often do you get stung?
More than
you want?
Well, I don't wear gloves when I work bees.
Okay.
I raise queens, so I'm always trying to catch queens and mark them because I produce them for other people. And I've gotten used to not wearing gloves. But there are days that I get into bees because I just have to, and I know they're not going to be happy, and I will put some nitrile gloves on because it helps.
Randy, what's the difference in the venom between a honeybee and the other types of bees?
A honeybee's venom is protein-based.
Okay.
Wasps are acid-based. Wasps are meat eaters. So they use a venom that's an acid base to start dissolving tissue to eat it, where a honeybee is a protein based. It's a different venom altogether.
Okay.
But it still hurts.
All right.
If you get stung by a honeybee, your best bet to do is just you scrape the stinger off. You never try to pinch it and pull it because you squeeze the venom sac and inject it into you.
Okay. So I have up on the screen now the picture you sent me. It looks like probably one of the hives of honeybees. So tell us about that, and like it's kind of wild how they're just all in one clump and they keep on going. Why do they gather like that?
It's called clustering.
Okay.
It's probably too hot in the hive.
Okay.
It gets too hot in the hive because honeybees produce a lot of heat. So it gets too hot in the hive, they come out, and there'll be bees in the front fanning, evacuating the air. They put fan air out and air in. And when they get too hot, they come outside the hive and they cluster on it to reduce the heat inside the hive.
Now, do you have them all in boxes, or do you have some? I know some of the pictures you sent me here are like of hives in trees and things like that.
Those are swarms.
Okay.
That's what happens when a swarm comes out. When it first leaves its original location, it won't go very far.
Okay.
And they'll cluster on a tree. Some people call it a bivouac. And what they're doing is looking for a new place to go live. And as soon as they find it, off they go into a tree cavity or whatever.
Gotcha.
I've seen them hang there for 5 minutes, and I've seen them hang there for 5 and 6 days.
That's because Randy just took their house from them. That's why. So I do have the picture up now of the bees swarming on a tree, and that's a lot of bees.
Yeah, I did send you a picture of a swarm incoming. It's just a mess of bees. It's a little video.
I don't think I got one. I didn't get that. I didn't put that up.
Okay.
But I do have the one where they're it almost looks like a heart that they're swarmed on a tree.
Yep. So and that's the bigger the swarm. That's they call it a primary swarm.
Okay.
Where the older queen, that's the one time she'll leave the hive. They go, and that's their way of reproduction.
I got
They're
you.
reproducing a new colony.
Okay.
When they leave, they have everything necessary in that hive to keep it going. There's new queen cells being made for a new virgin to merge out to mate to continue that colony right there.
Okay.
And the mother colony leaves and hopefully finds a suitable place and continues on.
All right. It is Garden Jargon for the month of August, and with us this morning is Charlie Dirt. That's the quietest I've ever heard, Charlie. I like this. And Randy McCracken's also here, and we're talking bees today. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to have news and with Curtis. And if you have any questions, you are welcome to call at 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. We'll be right back.
If you need assistance with auto, homeowners, renters, life, and pet insurance, Dan Hoffman State Farm on Dutch Ridge Road is always there to help. Dan Hoffman State Farm brings excellent customer service to both new and existing customers, understanding insurance needs to prepare for the unexpected. Call your Beaver County neighbor Dan at 724-728-2702 or visit HoffmanSFinsurance.com for more information. That's Dan Hoffman State Farm, 3465 Dutch Ridge Road, Beaver.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com. If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Curtis Walsh.
Good morning on this Wednesday, August the 12th. We can expect cloudy skies today, reaching a high of about 80 degrees. There may be some showers and thunderstorms that roll in towards the evening hours. We'll have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. A final report has been issued by a federal safety agency regarding the blast last year at the U.S. Steel plant near Pittsburgh, where 2 workers died. The blast at the Clairton Coke Works plant occurred after a gas valve being flushed with pressurized water ruptured. The report by the U.S. Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board is recommending that U.S. Steel develop a written procedure for washing valves in order to minimize the operation's hazards. The report says the valve failed, and it was more than 70 years old and made from brittle cast iron. U.S. Steel previously was fined more than $118,000 by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. PennDOT has announced inspection work on the Beaver-Rochester Bridge, which carries 51 over the Beaver River. There will be a traffic shift and shoulder closure on the bridge ramp to southbound Route 51 and 65 from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. tomorrow. Crews will be conducting bridge inspection activities. Singer Ashley Marina has announced that she will be performing the national anthem at the Steelers' preseason home opener tomorrow. The game is against the Green Bay Packers and will take place at Acrisure Stadium. Ashley Marina is a Lincoln Park graduate. The Freedom Area School District is seeking applicants to fill a vacancy on the board's school of directors, and that's the result of a recent resignation. The individual appointed will serve the remainder of the unexpired term, which expends through December 2029. To be eligible for appointment, candidates must be at least 18 years of age and have been a resident of Freedom Area School District for a minimum of 1 year. Interested individuals should submit a letter of interest and resume to Dr. Jeff Belts, the Superintendent of Freedom. Application materials must be received by Thursday, August 20th at 3 p.m. And automated red light enforcement is set to begin in Pittsburgh starting today. The city said it's focusing on intersection safety, and with that comes the rolling out of automated red light enforcement, a system designed to hold drivers accountable. Starting today, 2 intersections will have automated red light cameras go live. The locations will be at the intersection of North Dallas Avenue and Penn Avenue in the city's Point Breeze neighborhood, and also at the intersection of Sawmill Run Boulevard and Woodruff Street in the Beachview area. The technology the city is implementing will use cameras and sensors to automatically detect and record vehicles that enter the intersection after the light turns red. Today also marks the start of a 60-day warning period. During this time, those who commit a violation will only receive a warning notice in the mail, but after the warning period, citations will be issued.
Here's
We could see some areas of fog this morning. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and possible thunderstorms. We'll reach highs near 81 and drop down to lows of 66. And tomorrow, look for cloudy skies with the chance of rain and possible thunderstorms. Expect highs near 83 and lows of 65. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, August the 12th at 37 minutes past 11, we've got cloudy skies with a temperature of 70 degrees. That's news. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM and AM 1460 WNBA, as well as streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
I heard Curtis wants to be one of those drone bees.
The drone bee.
Yeah.
Drone bees.
You know what a drone bee does?
What's a drone bee do?
Mate, and that's it. Your sole purpose in life is to mate. But here's the problem. You said they only mate one time and they're done, right?
Instantly.
Once you mate, you're out of here.
That's it. Oh, when you said drone bee, I thought they had cameras on them or something.
Well, they got radar on them, that's for sure.
It's like instant nirvana.
Yeah. So, all right, Curtis. Curtis will be back again tomorrow morning as well. He'll have news for you this afternoon at 2:30, and he'll be back with us again tomorrow morning here on Beaver County Radio. We'll jump right out to the phone line. Someone's got a question. Good morning, you're on Beaver County Radio.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Howie, what's up?
Oh, not too much. I couldn't get a hold of you the last hour.
Oh, that's, we got busy there at the end, so it's hard to put so much thing in 1 hour. So, but all right, what's up?
I got a question for Charlie.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of purple beans?
You know what, Howie? I called in after you called about that before. 1 year, I got in a goof mood. I did a purple theme. I grew purple beans, purple cauliflower, and purple asparagus. I still have the purple asparagus. Okay, and you're right. They all turn back to their natural color when you cook them. And you said that your uncle, whoever saved the seeds from year to year, and that was a good thing to do because they are an heirloom variety, and you can save the seeds and you'll get the exact same thing the next year. But yeah, and I got a little smile on my face because it's probably been 20 years since I did that purple garden, but you brought back a good memory for me.
Well, that was my grandfather who did that.
Okay, so I'm assuming that was quite a few years ago.
Oh yeah, because he died in '75.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, he used to bury all his fish in his garden.
Did you say fish? Did you say bury fish?
In his garden.
His fish, all the fish he caught, he would bury them in the garden.
Sure. That's good natural fertilizer. And the folklore is that when the first settlers got to America and the Indians were teaching them how to grow the corn, they taught them to plant the corn in hills and bury a couple of fish in each hill because there was no chemical fertilizer to be had then. And that's basically how the Indians kept the first settlers from starving to death the first couple of years they were here.
Yeah.
Good.
That was something else.
You got any questions about bees? You got any questions about bee, Howie? We got a good bee guy here. Do you like honey?
Yeah, I do. And my grandmother, she always ate it on biscuits.
Nothing wrong with that. And Randy captures. Randy, I'm gonna talk about this, and then you explain. Randy captures a portion of the pollen when the bees come back into the box. And he sells that to people, and it's a superfood. And if you like honey and you get some of that bee pollen, what I do is I'll put some honey on some whole grain bread and put the bee pollen on there. And Randy, why don't you tell Howie how you capture that pollen when they come back to the box?
Well, I put a specialized trap on underneath the hive. It diverts their entrance where they come up through a screen, and it strips it off their legs, and it drops into a basket underneath that they can no longer access, and then I harvest that every day so it doesn't mold net, and I dry it and clean it, and that's my process, and then I offer it to people.
So how many days a week, a month, or do you capture the pollen? Because you can't do it every day because they wouldn't have anything to work with.
No, pollen is their protein. They need that to feed their new bees. That's what they absolutely need it. So I'll trap it for 4 or 5 days, and then I turn the trap off by dropping the door and let them have their own for 4 or 5 days and back and forth. But I only trap it for a short period. I'm getting ready to put pollen traps on, and I pull them around October 1st.
Okay, so Howie, if you go ahead.
I know that if a bee stings you, they die if they sting you.
Honeybees will, yes.
Yeah.
Where wasp can keep stinging.
A hornet can keep stinging you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we explained a little bit earlier the difference in the venom. The wasp or the hornet, whatever you want to call it, has an acid base venom. And that's one reason it gets so sore and gets so irritated, where the honeybee sting isn't pleasant, but it isn't near as miserable as if you get stung by a wasp. Yeah.
All right, Howie.
Well, I used to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I used to walk my bare feet in the summertime to always get stung.
I think we all done that. So, all right, buddy.
Okay, have a good.
Yeah, good to hear from you, Howie.
All right, you as well. Thanks, Howie. All right, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back with more right after this on Beaver County Radio.
Don't miss the 78th Annual Butler Farm Show now through Saturday. Visit butlerfarmshow.com for a full list of events. The Butler Farm Show is sponsored in part by Peoples Gas, Vogel Disposal, Groundworks, Americoal Mining, Butler Petroleum, 21st Century Energy Group, McKinney Hauling and Excavating, Hickson Family Equipment, Altmeyer's Western Wear, Lutheran Senior Life, KEI Dumpsters, Pennsylvania Lottery, Hornet Transportation North, Tri-Rivers Musculoskeletal, Mr. Feed, Jadco, Agway, Osterling's Feed, and Leather Lumber.
If you have kids going off to college this fall, one of the most important things to consider is their new car. College kids need vehicles that are fuel efficient to save money and are versatile for cargo and passenger space, and also have a sporty exterior. When you're looking for a new back-to-school car for your student, look no further than Moon Township Ford. They have plenty of vehicles that your student will love, whether new or pre-owned. And for everyone else, summer means it's time to get going and enjoy the warm weather. If your truck is your lifeline to towing recreational vehicles, campers, boats, and carrying jet skis, fishing gear, and more, the Ford F-150 truck is the vehicle for you. No matter where your summer vacation takes you, the adventure will be more fun in a new vehicle from Moon Township Ford. Summer vacations or back-to-school gear-up, trust Moon Township Ford to have what you need. University Boulevard, across from Robert Morris.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester. Weekday mornings were meant to drive in the fast lane. It's Frank Sparks on Beaver County Radio.
All right, back on Garden Jargon, and it's not the same without having the open and stuff like that in there, Charlie. I apologize for not getting it there.
Well,
it's Noah's fault because he's not here this week.
Well,
so,
yeah, you
having to cover for Noah is not,
If blame the person is not here or blame the computer. That's the American way.
We'll go with Noah this time. Then I got one I got one in hand. I can blame the computer next time, right?
Or you can blame Noah's computer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I could double blame. I could blame Noah's computer, and I could blame this computer.
He might be listening online down there in Florida. You better be careful. You better be nice to him.
That'd be all right. So that's how I look at it. All right. Talking this month on Garden Jargon, we're talking about bees and honeybees. And, honey, which is one of nature's great products that everybody seems... I don't really think I know anybody that doesn't like honey.
Well, Randy...
Very rare.
Explain why even your honey is different colors, different time of the year, and different things. There's light honey and dark honey. Why does that happen?
Well, it's different nectars, different times of the year. I'm small enough scale where I see it, a box of honey, a certain type in a colony, I extract it and keep it separate. So I have different varieties, which confuses people when I'm at the farmer's market a little bit, but I explain it. There's subtle differences between the flavors, and from year to year it's different. It just depends on the flowers and what's blooming.
What about seasonal, like spring's different than
spring?
Fall?
I can get some early spring that's very light looking in color, and it gets darker as the year progresses, like the tulip poplar is a darker honey, and the sumac's a darker honey, but they start to mix it with the earlier stuff, so you get that average-looking honey. My honey is raw honey, which means I do not filter it or heat it. So it contains still has the enzymes in it that are still active, and it still has the trace pollens in it that people are after for allergy relief. I can't swear by that, but I have people that swear that it helps them with allergies.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you have bad allergies, I know some people have been but you can't go to the grocery store and buy the honey. If you live around here, you got to get a honey from a beekeeper locally, and that will help with your allergy situation.
And why is that?
Well, a lot of honeys in the store are high pressure filtered, and to high pressure filter it, they have to heat it to make it thin, to get it through these filters, which they take all the pollens out of it. And when you heat honey, you start to destroy the enzymes in it. Not all honey. There's local beekeepers that have honey in stores, which is fine. And it also helps it from not crystallizing. They don't want to put a honey in a store that crystallizes right away, and they don't want to buy it. So it's been processed, and a lot of has additives in it that's you don't know what's in it.
Yep.
Corn syrup for one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this is something I'm going to give a shout out to all the men that have people to shop for Christmas and birthdays and that. And, you buy somebody clothes and they don't fit or they don't like the color or whatever. Randy made my Christmas shopping so simple last year because I'll let you explain the different honeys you have with the different infusions with the flavors and stuff like that. I did up a box of honey and pollen and stuff for people on my gift list. Nobody took it back because it didn't fit. Nobody brought it back because it was the wrong color. Okay, and honey keeps like practically forever. And you do recommend that if you're going to keep the pollen for a long time, you put it in the freezer, right?
Freezer or the refrigerator, yes.
Yeah, I got mine on the shelf in the refrigerator. Yeah, but it's just. Randy, tell us about the honeys you have. Some of them they're decadent. I mean, they're wonderful.
Well, there's just the different varieties of honey, like the knotweed's coming up, which is a noxious invasive plant, but the bees make a wonderful honey out of it, and it's a darker honey, and it's in my opinion, it's one of the best. You can get. I have some creamed honeys, which is actually a crystallized honey, but it's done in a way that it's like a smooth butter. You don't taste the crystals. There's a raspberry and a cinnamon that I have. As far as Christmas gifts, visit a local beekeeper and buy honey and put it in people's stocking stuffers or whatever. you won't get any complaints about your gift. I can tell you that. Everybody loves honey.
Oh, yeah. There's no
and,
doubt.
and your body metabolizes it so much different than the processed refined sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of the things, it was just a thing on TV the other night about the high fructose corn syrup. And, it's empty calories. It leads to diabetes. And like I said earlier, he's been doing it the same way the pharaohs do it. And it's got the enzymes, it's got the things from nature, and he doesn't do the things that filters the good stuff out. How do you extract the honey? You get this honeycomb down, or what's the next step that you do?
Well, I have to uncap it and get the wax off of it, and then I put it into an extractor, which is a radial extractor. Mine is, and it spins it. It started out slow, and it goes faster and faster, and it literally flings the honey out. And it runs down, and it goes out into a spout, and I put it into buckets, and then it goes into my bottling tank, and I put it into bottles, and that's how I offer it to people like that. But it's a process, and it's a lot of work. I mean, when I hear somebody complain about the price, I can buy it at Walmart cheaper. Well, go ahead. I said, I know what I have in mind, and I know what it is. It's,
So how do you get bees to get into the honey box? Like into the boxes you have? How do you get them to make a colony in there?
Well, that's beekeeping. I mean, I have that. You didn't get the picture, but it was a swarm that moved into an empty box that happened to be sitting there because the smell of an old hive was in it.
Okay.
They moved in. They'll start to draw comb. They come loaded, ready to go, and they'll draw comb, and they start. Bees like to build up. So when it comes an established colony, then I put what I call a queen excluder on to keep the queen from coming up and laying eggs all through it. And they'll go up and they'll fill that top box full of honey. That's their storage area. They always store above it.
Okay.
Because come wintertime, they start down low and they follow the heat and they move up. But when you steal the honey in the fall, you got to make sure they still have enough honey for the winter. Because winter's the hard time on bees.
Yeah, last time Randy had a picture. Unfortunately, we didn't get up in there. It was like a thermal image thing that he took maybe of the hive, and you can actually see with that thermal imaging the heat, the different colors that the bees generate, and who thinks about that? You're in your house in January, next to your register, trying to stay warm. Those bees are out there in that box, and they provide their own situation there where they can survive. Randy, what is beeswax?
Beeswax, the surplus of nectar coming into a hive, the younger bees, I forget the exact estimated age of that bee, they have little wax glands on their abdomen underneath, and they put these little platelets of wax out that they produce from the nectar, and they mold it into that perfect honeycomb looking shape, which is very efficient, one of the most efficient shapes there are, and they're actually at a slight angle upwards, so when they put nectar in it and they're curing it down, it doesn't drip back out. And I melt wax down and I process it and put it into blocks for people that I offer it to people that they make soaps, lip balms, candles. There's so many uses for beeswax.
And something else too that I've seen some people in my family, they will put, if they're sewing and they have a big diameter needle, they'll put that in the beeswax. They'll kind of lubricate the needle with like a natural lubricant, and it makes it easier to draw the needle through coarse material on that. I mean,
Makes sense.
You see how fascinating they are? They make their own food. They make their own wax. They make their own heat. They're solely self-sufficient, and Randy just kind of helps them along, gives them a place to live.
We exploit their hoarding of the honey, and there's nothing in a beehive that you can't use. Yeah. It's the pollen, the honey, the wax. The learning curve on keeping bees is pretty steep. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say I don't know the exact percentage. There's a lot of beekeepers that get into it and they quit within a few years. They're just done. It's once you put them in a box artificially like that, they're livestock. You have to take care of them. Mm-hmm. It's not like putting a dog out back and say, I'm not going to feed it anymore. You got to go out and take care of these bees. You got to take care of them, or they're going to die, abscond, swarm out, and just, So there is some work involved.
Now, do people call you sometimes that maybe there is a honeybee hive that they have and you're able to help them and possibly transport it back to your place?
I get questions all the time, and I get, I need help, and I try to walk them through. I'm getting to a point where I don't go chase swarms and stuff like that anymore, but I have a whole list of people that'll go do it. I'm just not climbing ladders and hanging out of trees to get swarms anymore. I have enough bees.
and Randy told me something when I was first getting to know him. We were talking about keeping bees. And remember, you said about if you see one of those videos and their clothes are all clean and they got the nice way, it's not real, because he says keeping bees can get you dirty. It's a dirty operation because it's a natural thing,
Well, it's probably real, but it's like just like anything on Facebook or YouTube or something like that. There's a lot of good information out there, and then there's a lot of hooey, So, and if you don't know, you don't know what's good, what's bad, and so it's you're best to find a mentor and go out with him and learn, or her.
All right, Randy. So let's say I can't really do it because I live downtown. Okay, but say I lived out at the edge of town or somewhere, and I'm interested in keeping bees. I start off with one box, one colony, whatever. I know they reproduce, and I know they generate more. How fast do the bees reproduce? How soon are you going to have to expect to build another box or create another home for them?
Usually I always tell people the first year is easy. You feed them and get them built up, and if you get them through the winter, the second year is the challenge. That's when things get touchy. That's when they're going to want to swarm. That's when they're going to want to reproduce. And there's a lot of different methods to try to eliminate that. I don't have the magic secret. If I did, boy, I have hives swarm out on me not all the time, but you get into a yard and you're like, crap, I'm a day late, and they're swarmed out, they're hanging in the trees. But usually by the second year, that hive's going to want to swarm, if it's a good quality hive. If it's
healthy.
And I always tell people 2's better than 1. Because if something goes wrong with this one, you got resources to pull from the other. Or if one dies over the winter, now you have this one, and now you can split it and make 2 again. If you have one and something goes wrong, you're kind of you're up the creek.
Yeah, and something that we kind of touched on lightly. Randy kind of has a service where he has bee colonies strategically around the area to help the farmers get things pollinated, like fruit, apples, peaches, and stuff like that. And the people don't realize the bees are what pollinates those flowers on your pepper plants and whatnot. And if it wouldn't be for the bees, we would have very little vegetables to eat. Yeah. And you have to be concerned if you're putting your box out there if a farmer has a tendency to spray, right?
Well, I'm real close to an orchard, the Woodward orchard.
Right.
Don will call me and say, hey, I need to spray. And I'll ask him, what are you spraying? And he'll tell me, and we'll look at the weather, and I'll tell him, okay, the optimal time will be Monday night at, in the evening. Okay, I'll do that. It's to protect my bees. So I work with him. A lot of orchards and stuff just go not willy-nilly to spray, but they don't care, or they're not aware of what they're doing.
Right.
And these bees bring back this poison pollen to them, and the next thing you know, I got a hive that's failing, and it's like, I never had that problem from the orchard that's near me, and because he works with me.
Yeah,
sure.
So,
Communications.
Right. So if someone wants to get a hold of you, get some honey off you, how can they do that?
Well, I'm at the farmers market in Chippewa every Tuesday from 3 to 6.
Okay.
And stop by. I mean, I'm on Facebook under Red Diamond Honeybees. They can message me.
Okay.
Randy, do you have it in any stores?
All right.
I do. I'm at the Health Hut in Chippewa. La Petite Bakery.
Okay.
Real nice place to stop. Go in there. It's
that's why I look like a baby. But all right, cool. All right, well, we got to get running. Coming up next is Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela. In the meantime, we'll see you again next month.
If the good Lord's winning and the creek don't rise.
All right. Gabby's going to tell us what the flavor of the day is at Hank's today. All right, here you go.
It's now time for the Hank's flavor of the day. Today's flavor is peanut butter. Head on over to one of my favorite places, Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican Food in New Brighton today.
Circle of Friends is happy to announce the 2026 Farmers Market Nutrition